Henry stood outside the hotel room, his head spinning. He had drunk too much at the business party downstairs. His tie was loose, his shirt wrinkled, and he could barely read the room number on his key card. Room 305, or was it 308? Everything looked blurry. He pushed the door open. It wasn't locked. That was strange. But Henry was too tired to care. He stumbled inside and fell onto the bed. The room was dark and quiet. Within seconds, he was asleep. What Henry didn't know was that he had entered the wrong room. This wasn't his room. This was room 308, and someone else was already sleeping there. Lauren woke up suddenly. She felt someone next to her. Her heart started racing. Who was in her bed? She tried to scream, but fear held her voice back. She reached for the lamp and turned it on. A man was lying next to her. His eyes were closed. He was breathing heavily, fast asleep. Lauren's hands shook. She grabbed her phone and thought about calling the police. But then she looked at him again. He didn't look dangerous. He looked lost. She shook his shoulder hard. Wake up right now." Henry's eyes opened slowly. He looked confused. Where was he? This wasn't his room. And who was this woman? "Who are you?" Lauren demanded. "Why are you in my room?" Henry sat up quickly. His head hurt. He looked around and realized his mistake. I'm so sorry. I thought this was my room. Ave, you must have what? Broken into my room." Lauren's voice was shaking with anger and fear. "No, I swear, I was drunk. I got confused. The door was open. I didn't know. Get out." Lauren pointed at the door. "Get out now before I call security." Henry stood up quickly. "I'm really sorry. This was a mistake. A terrible mistake." He rushed toward the door, embarrassed and ashamed. But just as he reached for the handle, someone knocked loudly from outside. Hotel security opened the door. Lauren's eyes went wide. Henry Francie, someone must have heard the noise and called security. Now everything looked even worse than it was. The door opened. Two security guards walked in. They looked at Henry, then at Lauren, then back at Henry. "What's going on here?" one guard asked. Lauren spoke first. "This man came into my room while I was sleeping. I woke up and found him in my bed." The guard grabbed Henry's arm. "Sir, you need to come with us." "Wait, please," Henry said. "It was an accident. I was drunk and confused. I thought this was my room. Look, here's my key card. I'm staying in room 305. The guard took the card and checked it. He frowned. "This key is for room 305. So why are you in 308? "I told you, I made a mistake. I was drunk and couldn't see properly." Lauren watched all of this. Part of her was still angry and scared, but another part of her believed him. He really did look confused and sorry, and he had his own room key. "Wait," Lauren said quietly. Maybe it really was just a mistake." The guards looked at her. "Ma'am, are you sure? We can report this to the police if you want." Lauren thought for a moment. If she reported this, Henry would be in serious trouble. Maybe he would even go to jail. But looking at him now, she didn't think he was a bad person, just a drunk, stupid person who made a huge mistake. "No," she said finally. "I don't want to report it. Just make sure he goes to his own room and doesn't bother anyone else." The guards nodded. They took Henry out of the room. Before he left, Henry turned back to look at Lauren. "Thank you," he said quietly, "and I'm truly sorry." Lauren didn't answer. She just closed the door and locked it. Her heart was still beating fast. She sat her day on the bed and put her face in her hands. What a crazy night. But she didn't know that this crazy night was only the beginning. Henry and Lauren would meet again soon, and next time, everything would be different. The CEO's secret. The next morning, Lauren woke up exhausted. She had barely slept after the incident. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that stranger's face. Henry, that was his name. She didn't even know his last name. Lauren got dressed and went downstairs for the business conference. She was here for work. After all, she worked as a junior marketing manager for a small company. This conference was important for her career. She couldn't let last night's disaster distract her. The conference hall was huge and filled with people. Lauren found a seat near the back and waited for the event to start. A woman walked onto the stage and spoke into the microphone. "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest speaker. He is the CEO of Maxwell Industries, one of the biggest companies in the country. Please welcome Mr. Henry Maxwell. Lauren's blood turned cold. Henry Maxwell? No, it couldn't be. But it was. The same man from last night walked onto the stage. He was wearing an expensive suit now. His hair was neat. He looked confident and powerful. Nothing like the drunk, confused man who had stumbled into her room. Lauren couldn't believe it. The man who had invaded her privacy, who had scared her half to death, was a CEO, a rich, powerful CEO. Henry started his speech. He talked about business growth, innovation, and leadership. People clapped and took notes. Lauren just stared at him in shock. Then, Henry's eyes scanned the audience. For a brief second, his gaze landed on Lauren. His face went pale. He recognized her. Lauren could see it in his eyes. But Henry was professional. He continued his speech without stopping. When he finished, everyone applauded. He smiled and left the stage quickly. Lauren's mind was racing. Should she talk to him? Should she pretend she didn't know him? What if he thought she would blackmail him? What if he tried to silence her? Before she could decide, someone tapped her shoulder. She turned around and saw a man in a black suit. "Excuse me, Mr. Maxwell would like to speak with you in private. Please follow me." Lauren's heart sank. So Henry wanted to talk. She had no choice but to follow the man. He led her through the hallways and into a private meeting room. Henry was waiting inside. He looked nervous, which surprised Lauren. Shouldn't he be angry or threatening? "Please, sit down," Henry said gently. Lauren sat her day across from him. She crossed her arms and waited. "I know what you're thinking," Henry began. "You're thinking that I'm going to threaten you or try to buy your silence. But I'm not. I just want to apologize properly. Last night was the worst mistake of my life." Lauren raised an eyebrow. "Really? The worst?" "Yes," Henry said seriously. "I have never done anything like that before. I don't usually drink that much. It was my assistant's birthday party, and I lost control. I know that's not an excuse, but it's the truth." Lauren studied his face. He seemed genuine, but she had learned not to trust people too easily. "Why did you want to see me?" she asked. "Because I owe you more than just an apology," Henry said. "You could have called the police. You could have ruined my reputation. But you didn't. You showed me mercy. I want to make it up to you somehow. I don't want your money," Lauren said quickly. "I'm not offering money," Henry replied. "I'm offering my sincere gratitude. And if you ever need anything, a job, a recommendation, help with anything, please let me know. I owe you a debt." Lauren didn't know what to say. She hadn't expected this. She thought he would be cold and distant, like most rich people, but Henry seemed human. "Just forget about it," Lauren said finally. "It was a mistake. Let's both move on." Henry nodded slowly. "All right, but please, take my card, just in case you change your mind." He handed her a business card. Lauren took it reluctantly. She stood up to leave. "Wait," Henry said. "Can I at least know your name?" Lauren paused at the door. "Lauren, my name is Lauren." Henry smiled slightly. "Lauren, thank you, Lauren." Lauren left the room quickly. Her head was spinning. She had just talked to one of the most powerful men in the country, and he had thanked her. It felt surreal. But as she walked back to the conference hall, Lauren didn't know that this meeting was only the beginning. Henry Maxwell was not just a CEO. He had enemies, secrets, and a dangerous past. And by meeting him, Lauren had just stepped into a world she didn't understand. A world where one midnight mistake would change both of their lives forever.